right. Same day. Different shirt. Different hour. But yet we're still here. What's up? So we did just get our statement from our mildly suspicious gardening boy. Our stoic Stanny. Our stoic Stanny. That's what I'll call him, sure. Let's ask him some questions. Can get this continuity between episodes going and continue by asking him questions.
She was always kind to me.
Same drink, see?
She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working. Sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Insects?
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside. She'd say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away. I didn't really understand her, but she was always kind.
Huh. Did she crunch the beetles down for paint? That's pretty fucked.
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, it was a joke. I was joking.
Oh, I see. I like Flora. I hope
Thanks.
she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone.
Any additional suffering for anyone? In addition to what?
She questioned me.
About what?
My work, the plants, bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me. I can tell.
Okay. Is she known for snooping and going through shit? Do you just know when people go through your shit?
This is a good example of how things work. I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gem-stony?
Sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen.
And what
I
do you
see.
do with this shiny and edible fruit?
You look at it. That looks like it might belong to Poppy. It's of no interest to me, but I overheard Poppy and Freya talking about it once.
Okay.
What were they saying?
They were arguing about something, but I can't remember the details.
Okay.
It's an egg with feet.
I like
It was
it.
locked, but we opened it, but it was empty.
A lot of...
Story.
yeah.
That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
Okay.
Fitz's
Sending a-
room is unlocked. It's up in the fellow
This
tower.
could be interesting.
Let's leave it. Okay. So, a lot of pointers towards Poppy on that. Either he's diverting or she's going to be a very useful suspect. Let's go this way. Hi. Like how
It's an
well
illustrated
animated
book about
everybody is.
birds.
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or it was left open for us to find.
Ever so slightly unnerving?
Yeah. Bird book. The ink dip is a remarkably intelligent bird with a very long lifespan, even among avian mystids. Other birds are often aggressive towards it, and the inkdip lives most of its life alone. Only seen to eat seeds of the Tanta amica. Okay. Hey, its feather looks a lot like the knife. Why? That's very strange. Okay. Something to think about. Something to think about.
Books about insects.
Well, theoretically. There's not a single book on that shelf.
Huh.
Huh. They must all be in use.
Books about space.
They're relatively untouched.
Books about geography.
Skip. Books about ancient history.
These books are ancient history. I think they'd crumble into dust if I tried to pick them up.
Good excuse.
Thanks.
Books about
Nature.
Books about birds.
The shelves are about half empty.
Oh, so you're a the shelves are half empty kind of person.
You knew this already.
Is that a snow globe?
Of sorts.
Yeah, I want to look at it. What the f...
Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle Tower. There's the lake and those weird mountains.
Weird.
What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing souvenir.
It would. Wow.
Hey,
What do
what
you
do you
that
think?
would make an what's in those bottles?
I'm not sure. Soil samples?
A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a classroom?
Whoa.
This looks like it kind of relates to the gardening thing. But I don't know how this helps me
I'm
yet.
not sure I learned anything from that.
Curious. I would expect bacteria of that nature to thrive in these conditions.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there must be something I am still missing.
May I talk to you, miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am a detective, and I need to talk.
Correction. You do not need to talk to me,
Oh no? How come?
because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Thanks for letting me know.
Speaking of which,
Okay.
you have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes. Surely you have already reached a sturdy hypothesis.
A hypothesis about the murder?
Yeah, come on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My apologies. Unfortunately, protocol dictates I must at least meet all the suspects. And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fellow, microbiologist, inventor, innovator.
Thanks. Okay.
You will need to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response
Yeah.
without doing one a great disservice.
So true.
Well,
Yeah, I don't
first of all,
disagree.
you're a fellow. So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
Fifi, you said you were
Okay.
a micro... something or other?
Microbiologist, but it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What
Uh-huh.
made you want to become a scientist in the first place?
I harbor an intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
Correct.
What?
And what's that thing on your head? Did you make that too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me, I designed this custom lens instead. It automatically adjusts based on the surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No,
Damn,
but that would be most amusing.
that would be good. You should do that.
What can you tell me about the murder?
What
What-
can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yes, however, you were too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi?
I just need to know what happened.
Me too. So talk.
Fine. I knew ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with Poppy. I was in the library all morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
What a character.
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh. Good.
I don't know what to say to that.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door was locked. Someone
Statement
began
time.
banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me. I opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
Nice.
She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower. We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside.
We
He
still gotta
followed us
talk to that
upstairs.
guy.
When I saw Freya lying on the floor, I was completely and utterly devastated. Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in fact, blood.
You performed that scientific test immediately, even though you were feeling so upset?
Of course.
Wow.
Why would one affect the other?
She is very detached from her emotions. Oh, wow. Wowie wow.
Name, Flora Fellow. Age, 44. Profession, unknown. Likes, unknown. Dislikes, unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
Oh.
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting nonverbal communication.
And
I see.
how long has Flora been non-verbal?
She has always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond.
Huh. Okay.
Name, Fiona Fellow. Age, 19.
I see.
Profession, amateur microbiologist. Likes,
Okay.
the meaningful archiving of information. Dislikes, the superfluous window dressing accompanying the majority of human contact. Notes, kindly disregard the polysyllabic form of my given forename and refer to me instead as Fifi.
How come you prefer Fifi?
How come you prefer Grimoire?
How
There
are
you
you
go.
related to the other fellows?
Fitz is my cousin. His father, a man named Flint, was my uncle.
Was?
I do not know if Flint is alive or not. He left Tangle Tower a long time ago.
And what about Freya? How are you related to her?
We share exactly one grandparent.
Okay.
Name, Freya Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, artist. Deceased.
Yeah.
Understand
Knew
this.
that.
Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me. There it is. Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend
I
a lot
see.
of time with Freya recently?
I will say this.
She was a
In the
very...
past year, Freya became...
She is... It seems that Freya is a very important person to a lot of the people in this tower. It makes this very interesting.
1. Increasingly independent, and 2. Increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The three of you are friends.
We are of a similar age, and all highly gifted. 1 scientist, 1 artist, and 1 musician.
Sounds like quite a team.
Name, Fitzfellow.
Mm-hmm.
Age, 24. Profession, cryptobotanist. Likes soil, dislikes electric lights.
Hang on. Cryptobotanist?
What?
I thought
Yeah.
it was just a gardener.
That may well be his preferred label. Mine, however, is more accurate.
Do you and Fitz not see eye to eye, Fifi?
We do not.
Uh-huh.
Thought so. He's well over 6 foot, and you've got to be just barely 5.
So what's your problem with him?
Exactly 1 week ago, I witnessed him sneaking up Pointer Tower. He was making every effort to avoid detection.
So?
He was also carrying a knife.
That's troubling.
The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the harp. Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
We're working on it.
We are.
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
Oh.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother's not been in the library for some time.
You would probably know, sadly. Guys don't really butt heads all that much, huh?
Freya is normally highly skilled at capturing someone's likeness, but in this painting, she has accidentally made Flora look quite young.
I think she was just being kind.
Why is that kind? Anyway, I'm far more interested in what Flora is holding. I performed the test on the red paint myself. I discovered that it was in fact not paint, but blood.
Okay.
What made you want to test it in the first place?
It was Poppy. She told me she thought the painting looked like a bloody knife. I told her not to be ridiculous. My mother owns no such knife. But then I noticed that the color was slightly too dark, and the substance itself was overly viscous.
You noticed that just from
Okay.
looking at it once?
Of course.
I can't blame her for that. She does have the fucking
Fifi's
microscope
bedroom
eye.
should be unlocked now.
Can't wait.
No, I'll take my time with that. Okay. How are we doing on time? Yeah, I've still got a minute or two. So we could go talk to the last person that I've spoken to in my solo save, the head of the other tower, but personally, I would like to do something new for you guys. So, what's in here? Workshop. Oh, there's a person.
Puffer fish?
Yes, it's also a lamp, for some reason.
I like it.
It's a magic lamp. Can we summon the genie?
If we get really stuck, sure.
A little hand-painted statue.
How can you tell it's hand-painted?
Well, the paints are right there on the desk. Also, I mean, no offense, but you can just tell.
But no red paint. Ooh, interessant.
I'm sure that's gonna play into it.
Shelf junk.
Yeah.
An old wooden mask.
Probably cursed.
Yeah.
What is it?
He's an imp.
What does he do?
Well, if you tell too many lies, he appears at the end of your bed in the middle of the night.
Shit.
Oh.
Oh. He's spooky. I don't like
It's
him.
Earth.
If Earth was made of paper and gave off a gentle pink light. Nice. A real treasure chest.
How do you know there's treasure in there?
Why else would it be locked? Plus, there's a treasure map hanging directly above it. What's the deal with that painting on the front?
Not sure. We should check that treasure map too.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hey, let's go.
That's okay. So X. Okay, so all of the things depicted in the drawing are on here. There are 3 symbols. I don't actually think I do see a wave though, so or are those birds? No, those are waves. Okay. Oh, maybe I have to do it in a way that they're in that order. So, like, he has to be here, 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 like that. So, that's F2, H6, J3. Okay. Oh, it's right here. Is it this? That looks correct. Oh, but there's no bird in the back, though. But none of the other ones make sense. So... where does this get us, though? But this looks like it, regardless. I3 HJ4
Nothing.
Did you check the treasure map? And what about that painting on the chest itself?
Still locked.
I think there's a connection between the painting and the treasure map. Like they're different versions of the same thing, maybe?
Yeah, they are. But I don't know how to decipher this into a combination. Because there's 3 digits, but I get 2 digits just by the location. I4 north? Aha, they are. So let's...
That was
The padlock has 3 different inputs. A letter, a number. It's just a grid reference for the map.
Yeah, I get that.
That
I'm
was-
just
The padlock's
working.
just a
Yeah,
grid reference
uh-huh.
for the map.
That
The
was
padlock's just a grid reference for the map.
That
The
was
padlock's just a grid
Okay,
reference
well,
for
I
the
tried all of them now, so I'm still getting it wrong. I4 looks correct, unless it wants me to do I3?
That
The
was
padlock's just a grid reference for the map.
That
The
was
pad's just a grid reference.
That
The pad's just a grid reference.
That
The pad's just a grid reference.
That
The pad's just a grid reference.
Nope.
for the map.
I mean, I guess there's the chance that I'm wrong, but... Huh. What's a different angle it could all be at? There just aren't any other angles that works at. Okay. I don't want to.
come back later.
I don't want to spend the whole episode on that. I'll come back to it.
Sir? Can you hear me? I'm Private Detective Grimoire. I have some questions for you.
Grimoire. Good mysterious name. I'd rather like it. Felix Fellow at your beck and call.
And, this is my colleague, Sally.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good name as well.
Thanks.
If you would, Mr.
Wow.
Fellow, we really need to ask you about the murder.
I must say I'm rather jealous of you two.
Oh yeah? Why's that?
Out here solving mysteries, exploring new places, uncovering secret rooms, hidden treasures. That's what life is all about.
Secret rooms?
They're
Generally speaking, you know, that sort of thing.
mildly sus.
So, Felix, what exactly do you, do?
Is it not obvious?
You
I'm
are-
an explorer. Explorer slash treasure hunter. Yes, well, best in the world.
We're talking
Sure.
like curse statues, spike pits.
It's a little more sophisticated than that. But I've certainly seen my share of danger, if that's what you're asking.
And,
You listen
shit,
here.
sorry.
I may be between ventures right now, but it's simply not in my nature to stay in one place for too long. I go wherever the winds of destiny take me.
Don't you live here
Cool.
with your wife and daughter?
Yes, well, the fellow family has certain loyalties, and with Flora the way she is,
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
yeah.
raising a family, Mr. Fellow.
don't misunderstand me. Fiona and Flora are my entire world. They are the greatest treasure of all.
Uh-huh.
You resent your family, don't you?
Why on earth would you want to know about that?
The murder of Freya Fellow. The reason we're here?
Ah, right. Nasty business. Very unfortunate. I regret that I can't be of any help, but I wish you all the best in your investigation.
Hear that, Grimoire? We're done here. Let's go.
It's a simple question, Felix. I'm sure you're up to it.
I just...
Come on, bud.
Well, there's not much to tell. Mostly, I was in my room by myself, working on Flora's, working on a project.
Your room is quite close to Flora's tower. You didn't hear anything unusual?
What qualifies as unusual?
What have you got?
This guy is acting insanely suspicious right now.
It was dusk.
Oh my
a
God.
feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent, perhaps. Uncertain, as life itself.
Abridged version, please.
Right, fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room. The footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor below.
I gotta meet this
Didn't
Poppy.
know what to make of it, to be honest. I thought perhaps she'd had a disagreement with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I
Okay.
bumped into a very
He was supposed to be there.
looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor. Fiona, Poppy, Fitz, and Pointer were there already. Flora too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me.
That's fair. She is your wife.
Fitz? I don't trust him. He's slippery. Never commits to anything. Brain like an onion.
An onion?
Did you two have an argument?
No, but my daughter doesn't like him at all. And I trust Fiona's judgment entirely. She's a very vigilant young woman.
Wish my parents were the same with me. What can you do?
Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Oh, yes. Been married over 20 years now.
You two still get on?
Of course. What a question.
She hasn't gone quiet on you.
It's true she has an independent streak. She's had it her whole life. She's the youngest of three. Always something
see.
of a lone wolf, you know? Just the way she is.
Lone wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk to anyone.
She just likes time to herself, away from the company of other humans.
Other humans?
Well, yes, other people, you know.
See where she gets it from.
My daughter Fiona, our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get
Oh,
this,
no.
she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I think she has OCD, sir.
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
Fucking do tell.
yeah?
It's what Freya called her.
Well, I could see it being both. Freya called her it and made her realize that she liked it because of that reason, so she adopted it. And she also likes it because her friend called her it. I don't know. I feel like you're simplifying things a little bit too much, Felix, but this strange world where weird lake water that changes your DNA that's not radioactive exists, so I guess there's a good chance that the concept of being OCD doesn't make sense to people. Who knows? Different world.
Quite the character, eh? A fellow member of the Order of the Crimson Cloak.
Oh
Is that a real
shit,
thing?
you both
No,
got that.
I just meant to, because we both wear, red capes.
Oh.
Of a sort.
Has she questioned you yet?
If you call that questioning, she seemed bored by everything I had to say. I heard on the grapevine, supposedly Hawkshaw is searching for some rare item. Something called the Golden Beetle. Honestly, it's probably a bunch of sensationalist rubbish.
You
I
reckon?
see.
Quite sure. There is no treasure called the Golden Beetle.
How do you know?
How do you know?
I would have heard of it.
You just feel bad you were left out of this one.
Uncommonly skilled as an artist, but Freya was so much more than her talent. She helped
Sounds
me
like
get
it.
started with my own painting, you know. It taught me what she knew about wood carving, too. Tremendous patience. She was ever so good with dear Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh, yes, especially recently.
How are you related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father, Lord Fellow, was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall. You should take a look at it.
Yeah, I
about her
did.
inheritance?
It's fucking
Freya's parents
crazy.
died when she was around 3 years old. She came to live here shortly afterwards.
Nobody left her a thing?
I'm afraid not. She had no formal claim over anything at Tangle Tower.
That's lame.
You're the one currently basking in his presence. You tell me.
Let's move on.
I'm good. I'm good on those questions for now. Oh, back asleep, I see. Sounds like a fucking humming light noise in his room. I don't like it. Well, I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but let's head off to the other paternal figure of the household and close it out. See, this room actually looks like it has a roof. I get the feeling from what Grimoire was saying that the other tower goes up more. I bet you there's like a secret room up at the top of the tower for some odd reason. Anyway, this guy, Mr. Pointer, is the last one that I have spoken to. I didn't talk to old guy, but this man, he is my final claim to knowledge previous to this playthrough. So we will hop on him next and actually do a little bit more investigation that I hadn't figured out I can do back then. But yeah, this is interesting. As opposed to the previous games in the series, and also as opposed to Paradise Killer, which I played before this, there's so much like internal thoughts and feelings having to do with family in this that just like really changes the dynamic a lot, because God, people get fucking weird about family, don't they? This is really interesting. by golly, I gotta get some more of this in soon, because I must know more now that I'm caught up. Glad to have you guys here. It's been fun, but it's time to move on to the next episode, so have a good one. Goodbye.